Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to you about the Baker Act and the kinds of things that I'm hearing or have heard from families in an effort to get their loved ones secured. And I'm going to share this with you because these kinds of ideas are the sort of things that can pour gasoline on a fire and get somebody stuck for a longer period than they need to be. And just as an aside, and I've shared this before, but I've had a family member Baker acted, and it happened just 2 days after I lost my father, who passed away unexpectedly. And I was there. I was there when the whole thing went down. And it's what motivates me to handle these cases. And over the years, I think we've probably handled, I don't know, probably close to 900, maybe it's even close to 1,000. I haven't checked recently, but I mean, we've typically filed anywhere from 200 to 250 cases every year to get people out of the Baker Act. And typically, on average, they're out within a day or two. That's the average. Sometimes it's a little quicker, sometimes it's a little longer. It depends on the facility's desire to really do battle with us. But I'm also going to tell you there's only two ways that somebody gets out of a Baker Act. Number one, the facility lets them go. And that can happen. The question is, how long do you want to leave them there before it does happen? And I've made videos in the past about the sort of red flags you can look at, little, should give you an indication as to whether or not your loved one's coming home. Do they have health insurance? Is the facility lying to you? Do they keep changing the release date? Are their Google reviews just absolutely horrendous and people are saying this is a scam, right? Those types of things. That should give you an indication before you even speak to us if this is a facility that's going to let somebody go. So the first way is they let somebody go. The second way is they get forced to let somebody go. That's where we come in, right? That's what we do. When I tell you we're filing 200 to 250 cases every year, and the average release time is a day or two, it's because we're going all over the state and we are forcing facilities to do what needs to be done to get somebody out of Florida's draconian, broken mental health system. Because once you get Baker acted, nobody knows you're there. There's no reporting here, nobody's watching them. And as a general rule, because the facility, albeit private in nature and for profit, is an agent of the state's mental health system, which is why they can lock your loved one away, deny you access to them, and forcibly medicate them, right? They're an agent of the state, and that means they enjoy sovereign immunity like any other state agent. So that's it. We force them, they let them go. But here are the types of things that families say to us that they want to do. They think that this will get their loved one out. And in reality, what it does is just make the whole thing a whole lot worse. Okay, so I'm just going to give you this list. I guess number one, well, I'm going to go file my own petition. Well, here's how this works. First of all, unless you are a licensed lawyer in the state of Florida, you cannot file anything in the court system on behalf of somebody else. That's why as a lawyer for 32 years, that's what my license says. I can represent somebody in court, right? As the advocate, not as I'm not the client, I'm the advocate. Well, if you're not a lawyer, you cannot file something on behalf of somebody else. And by the way, how would you even know what to file, right? Or where to file it, or how to litigate it? So you cannot file something on behalf of somebody else. It's the unlicensed practice of law. And by the way, it's a first-degree misdemeanor. So don't do that. The second thing I hear is, well, I'm just going to write a nasty letter to the owner of the facility or the clinical director or whoever. Okay, first of all, respectfully, that's a complete waste of time. And now you've just led with your chin. You've just tipped off the facility that something down the pipe is potentially coming. So what do you think they're going to do? They're going to document the file and make your loved one look like they meet criteria and they should be there. Okay? And I've heard stories of attorneys doing the same thing. This is like dealing with a bully on a playground. You don't threaten a bully. You either walk away or you walk up and hit him. And if he doesn't go down after the first shot, you keep hitting him until he drops. Okay, this is the bully. Okay, this is the state of Florida with their unlimited power and unlimited resources. So you don't play games with them. If you're going to take a crack at them, you crack them. Okay, you don't write silly letters. And I say that because I'm hearing stories of lawyers doing it just as well as other people. It's a waste of time, and they won't take it seriously. It'll end up in the garbage. Here's the other things I've heard. I'm going to file a complaint against the doctor who made the decision. Okay, great. File a complaint. First of all, I don't know how serious the complaint department, right? The health department's going to take that. But how long do you think that's going to take? Weeks? Months? Years? I don't know. I mean, I'm not suggesting you don't do it, but do it after the fact. Don't do it while they're still sitting there, right? Because it's not going to change anything. I'm going to cancel their insurance. Oh, really? Well, first of all, the insurance carrier is not just going to, switch it off, right? I mean, and second of all, I mean, what do you think? Who's going to pay for this then? Either your loved one's going to probably get a bill or whoever. But I mean, the facility's not walking away from this. This is how they make money. And I've never seen anybody get released because, well, the insurance company just suddenly canceled insurance. They're going to want to know, why do you want to cancel it? Oh, you mean your loved one was taken away and they're in a Bancroft facility? How'd that happen? Really? You want to share that with your insurance company? Okay. I'm going to call the judge. I'm going to find out who the judge is to handle these cases. I'm calling the judge. No, you're not calling the judge. Okay. You cannot just call the judge, right? Even I cannot call the judge. And I've had families say to me, call the judge, just call the judge. I've had other families who actually, after we filed the case, went and called the judge. And I got a very nasty email from the judge's assistant saying, Mr. Astor, get control of your client. You know that this is not the way things get done. So you're not calling the judge or any judge for that matter. That's not how this thing works. Okay. Here's the other thing. I threatened the facility. I'm going to call a lawyer. Oh, really? So you've now told the lawyer, the hospital or the facility, wherever your loved one's being held, that you're going to call a lawyer. What do you think they're going to do with that information? Oh, really? Well, in that case, we better document the file. We're going to circle the wagons, and we're going to make sure that the medical records make it very clear this person not only met criteria, but you know what? They meet criteria for continued detention. I think we should file a petition for placement and let a judge rule on this. Because if we get a judge's order, guess what? Now we're covered. So please don't do that. I know it's tempting to do that. And I know that you're angry. You're full of piss and vinegar. I get it. I've been there. I know how this feels. But if their facility is not indicating to you, and when I say indicating, they're confirming to you in writing that they're letting your loved one go, then you should presume that they're not going to do that. And at that point, you need to drag the facility into court. Okay, I'm not telling you it has to be me. I'm just telling you, you need a lawyer to go and file something. Okay, and I've seen what happens when people do not do that. Their loved ones get stuck and they call us, oh, there was a hearing. We didn't know about it. In fact, we weren't even invited. Well, yeah, because you're not a party to this. It's the state of Florida versus your loved one. You're a witness at best if even anybody even knows you're out there. You're not entitled to be present at the hearing, not unless somebody calls you as a witness. So yeah, this can happen without you even knowing about it, right? Suddenly the judge issues an order, they're stuck for another month or 2 months or 3 months. I've seen it happen, which is why it is my counsel in every video you've ever seen me make about the Baker Act that once your loved one is taken, you should fight like hell to get them out. And that means that you have to go to court and you will need a lawyer to do that. That's it. That's how the system works. If you're not going to let them go, then you got to force them. Causes have effects and effects have consequences. And the consequence of doing nothing can be disastrous, right? You can do what you want with that information. I just put it out there. You know, I make these videos so you can find out how this really works, okay? Not what Google says, not what ChatGPT says, what an experienced law firm that's handled hundreds of these things, how this thing really works. And if you decide to take my advice, great. We'd love to chat with you. And if you don't, that's okay. This is a no judgment zone. I make this content for you. What you do with it, that's entirely up to you. But I appreciate you tuning in. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. Have you had a family member Baker Acted? What was that experience like? Have you been Baker Acted? What was that experience like? And I'm going to tell you, it's not good. I know it's not good because I get about 2 or 3 calls every single day from people who got Baker Acted. They got stuck there for a bunch of days and weeks and sometimes months, and now they want to sue. Guess what? As a general rule, you cannot sue. And I can't do anything about it. I wish I could tell you otherwise. I would have been retired years ago because I'm getting, 2 or 3 calls a day. Imagine if I could file 10 lawsuits every month for people wrongfully Baker Acted. I mean, trust me, I'd be motivated to do it, but the statute says they have immunity. It's not happening as a general rule, right? Now, obviously, if you've been injured, I had a woman that was sexually assaulted. I had somebody that was beaten up. That's different, okay? They have a duty to keep you safe. But absent documented physical injury, There's no lawsuit here. There's no pot of gold at the end of a Baker Act. Sorry to say that. In any event, that's my 2 cents on Baker Act. Let me know what you think. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel so you can get more of this content that I put out for you guys every single day. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.